firing people, clients, to protect your employees and your business. That's a hard thing for companies to do. We have something, an acronym called BSBO. It's called Better Served by Others. So when we have one of those clients, we'll actually say, well, we think we need to BSBO them. Sometimes we can have self-inflicted stuff, and then we get annoyed with the customer, and they're annoyed with us. But is it something that is fair?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Landscaper's Guide podcast. Right now, I'm on the Cape at the Landscape COD conference, and today we're interviewing Abe Faria from CMS Landscaping in Bourne, Massachusetts. Abe, welcome to the Landscaper's Guide.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about CMS Landscaping. What does your company do?
Yeah, so we're a full-service landscape company. Anywhere from general maintenance, the lawn mowing, the cleanups, the mulching. We do design, build, install, whether it's a small patio or, complete landscape, brand new house, dirt parking lot, getting it designed and installed. We have a lawn healthcare program, and the only thing we really don't do is tree work. That stuff we'll sub that stuff.
Do you do some tree trimming though?
We do pruning, if it's, pole saw,
So you guys do lawn care?
Yes.
Do you do tree plant health care? Or
yes, we do.
You do, but it's really the tree removal.
Tree, yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, but we don't have climbers.
You don't have climbers.
Or bucket trucks and stuff like that, yeah.
Well, great. And so what position are you in at the company now?
So I'm the general manager. I've been in that position for probably about 10 years now. I started out just mowing lawns. A little bit about myself. I started in high school. One of the owners, Brian Mark, him and his brother own the business. Brian was my history teacher. And I always say I was shocked the day he actually hired me because I wasn't always the greatest student. But,
okay, so the owner of the company was your high school, which subject was
history
it?
Teacher.
History teacher.
Yeah.
And he also had like a landscape company on the side?
Yeah, so it wasn't, it was his dad's business. Mm-hmm. So CMS stands for Chris Mark and Sons Landscaping. We're trying to brand it into CMS, a little easier to say. So he was doing landscaping, part-time, full-time teaching, and then transitioned into running the business.
Yep. Well, you're the second person I've interviewed on this podcast whose landscape company was founded by a high school teacher.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. Well, I guess in this case, the founder was his dad.
Okay.
But anyways, that's just an interesting tie-in. So you started out just in high school, spring, summer job, mowing lawns.
Yep.
What are, through the years, some of the other roles that you've done at the company?
Yeah, I feel like I've probably worn every single hat.
I bet you have.
Yeah, it's been 27 years. So, I started doing that, obviously worked my way up to crew leader, became an account manager, became an ops manager. There were plenty of times I actually did all of that together, and worked my way into general manager. They gave me a career path. I didn't start the landscaping thinking I was going to do this for the rest of my life. But they were a growing business and they invested their time in me and, sent me to some college classes and worked my way up and here we are today.
That's incredible. And how many people work there during peak season?
So we'll probably have just over 50 employees between field staff and office staff.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, so people, talking about those people, and I love hearing your story. So yesterday you came to my presentation of the Landscaper's Ultimate Guide to Recruiting A Players, which is all about attracting and retaining what I call A players. These are the people that are a culture fit, they're a skills fit, they're really the engine of the company. They're essential to small business. What were some of the things that stood out to you from that presentation?
Yeah, it was a great presentation. So well done there. Some of the things that stood out were you talked about building a culture and investing into your employees and showing that you're willing to invest into your employees to keep those players and to recruit new people, right? So I think that's really important, and that was great. The other thing you talked about was firing people. Clients to protect your employees and your business. That's a hard thing for for companies to do, and to understand how that can affect in a positive way your company and employees.
Yeah, it is. So we were part of the presentation was empathizing with pains of landscape employees. So like one is it is physically demanding work.
Mm-hmm.
It's outside in the elements. There's scheduled. There's a lot of just stress that comes from the weather,
Mm-hmm.
and then also the stress for account managers. And you said you were an account manager at one point.
Yes.
Of clients. And so we're all really in the service business. I serve clients, you serve clients. If we didn't love serving clients, like we shouldn't really be in business at all. So I'm just prefacing that what I'm about to say is rooted in serving clients. So, and it's kind of this weird way of going about it. But what we're hearing from the audience is that having toxic clients is really stressful, especially for the client-facing account manager, foreman, project manager. It's kind of depends on what company you're in. So I was wondering, maybe without mentioning specific people, can you share some stories from real life that either of clients that you managed or clients that you saw were really toxic to your team? And again, not demanding clients. Demanding clients are great, but there's a level of respect that's needed in the work, and when it gets outside of that, it can become toxic and really burn people out.
Yeah. There's, I mean, over the 27 years, lots of examples, but you have clients that, there's demanding and then there's unreasonable demands, or they can be rude to your employees. Really, we want clients that want to interact, but they've got to interact the correct way. Being rude to a field staff, constantly, emailing the account manager or complaining about things that really just shouldn't be complained about. Wasting our resources to fix something that actually looks really good. Having to send crews back, not being, not, and it's not something that we can charge. Wasting the time of the account manager to have to go, send emails, to go out and visit the property for unreasonable stuff. It takes a lot of time, and it's a time suck when a client can be unreasonable, and it just isn't the right fit. We have something with an acronym called BSBO. It's called Better Served by Others.
Okay.
So when we have one of those clients, we'll actually say, well, we think we need to BSBO them. And so we'll send a kind letter saying, we're just not the right fit, and give some recommendations of some other companies that we know can service them and have reputable.
Well, this is interesting. So one, I love the acronym. Do you know where it came from? Did you guys make this up?
We did not make it up. Actually, it was we have a business coach,
Uh-huh.
and he's the one that kind of brought that to us.
Okay.
But we loved it. Yeah.
BSBO.
BSBO.
That's a little more polite than PETA.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What's that?
Pain in the ass.
Pain in the ass. Yeah.
Yes. So we sometimes joke about having a PETA fee on the invoice. We never actually put it on the invoice, but the PETA PETA client, yeah, BSBO. I like that. So is there a process for arriving at BSBO?
Yes, there's
a series of warnings, or like how do you? Because we can't just go around flippantly saying, you know what, we don't like this person, we're not going to work with them.
Yep. So we throughout the year, we'll make a list. Put people on the BSBO list. And then we'll go back. We'll go back through and really talk about that person.
Yeah.
Were they being unreasonable, or is it something that's self-inflicted?
Yeah.
Like, because sometimes we can have self-inflicted stuff, and then we get annoyed with the customer, and they're annoyed with us. But is it something that is fair? We can't just fire or drop people, BSBO people that where we were part of the problem.
Yeah.
Too, right? So you have to look at that and evaluate that.
Well, so I'm the owner of my company, and a lot of my clients really like me, but some of them don't. And I'm sometimes the problem.
Right.
Or and I let my team know that, and I remind them that it's okay for them to tell me that, Jack, actually it's you.
Right.
And I've learned to that's okay. It's okay that I'm not the right personality fit for some people, but they also might be a great personality fit for somebody else on my team. Or maybe our account person is just not a fit for this personality. So that's something I learned from the book Sales Management by Brian Tracy.
Okay.
It's a really good audio book. It's like a 4-hour book. I've listened to it a million times, but he talks about when you're selling to a client, if it's not a fit for you, it could still be a fit for the company. And there are certain personality types that I do really well with. I actually do really well with people from the Northeast. And some of I'm from the Midwest, but I have some staff, and they're like, "Wow, this person's really direct." So sometimes we have clients from the Northeast, and they're really direct, and they don't jive with some of my team, but I actually enjoy working with them, and I'll say, "Well, I'll talk to them." And I found in the Northeast that people like to get down to business first and then build rapport later.
Sure.
Do you agree?
Yep, 100%.
So I actually, now that once I realize that, I'm like, oh, this is pretty easy. We just have to like get the work done and do it well. And then we hang out and build rapport at the end of the meeting.
Sure.
But that's different in Texas. So I have a ton of business in Texas, and in many regions of the country, like you would lose the deal and the client if you don't build rapport first. So it's kind of just being aware of, okay, who am I meeting with? What's their personality type? Where are they from? Is there some sort of regional, and how do I adapt my approach? And I found that works well.
Yeah.
So sometimes, you put a different person in place. The customer is a fit for the company, but maybe not that point of contact that has solved things. And then sometimes they're just a bad fit for the company, and they're a BSBO.
BSBO, yeah.
So when, and I'm curious, how many customers do you guys have?
I'd say right now we're probably in the 1,000 range somewhere.
Okay, so do you have like a CRM, or like where do you actually tag them as a BSBO? Is there like a whiteboard? Is there a group chat? Like, how do you guys actually organize this with 1,000 customers?
Yeah, we have a whiteboard, so it's not many. Let's be honest, it's not like we have 100 on there.
Okay.
So it might be 20 clients or something like that we kind of write down, or we keep track of.
Yeah.
We don't want to use tags in the CRM or anything like that.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah, you got to be careful. So
yeah, it's interesting. Well, and again, what is the impact on the team when you don't have a BSBO?
Yeah, it's stressful. It's stressful when crews have to go to a job site and they know the customer is a difficult customer. It's stress right in the morning. The vibe changes. It's like, oh, we've got this person we got to go to, and you can see like the stress on those employees, and I don't think that's fair. That sucks. You have to start your morning off like that. So,
what does it feel like knowing that management and leadership will BSBO a client, though? So, what's the benefit of doing this?
Yeah, I think that they feel that we have their back. Now, we obviously want to give clients an opportunity, to fix, to fix things, and not, sometimes people can start off as red flag BSBO, and then relationships can change after that. We've had several of those that are really difficult, picky clients, and then actually have blossomed them into a good relationship. So, but for the field staff, I think that they do really appreciate that you have their back and understand the difficulties.
I agree. And I have a client in South Carolina who regularly fires clients, and I've interviewed her employees, and this is a key reason they stay, is they know that the owner of the company values them so highly that they would fire a client. And none of them abuse this, but they let this person know, hey, this is a toxic client. They're really disrespectful, this sort of thing. And she'll call them and try and redirect things, and I've had to do that. And in fact, I have a client I've worked with for 7 years, but we had a moment where I felt like they were really disrespectful to my team, and I let him know.
Yep.
And he said, "Wow, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way at all, and, like, I do respect you and your team," and it actually really strengthened the relationship. It became a moment that was like, "No, hey, man, I'm sorry. Like, look, I want this work done really well. I didn't realize. I can see what you're saying." And then there's been my side of the street where we've been wrong, right? And so you tell me about that, because you're like, is it fair? I think is a fair question of have we done everything that we said we were going to do, and what was our part in it? I think is an important step.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So when we're doing that review process,
Mhm.
we'll go through the clients, and we do keep track of complaints. If
Mhm.
people are calling the office, we have all that kind of track record.
Mhm.
So we'll go back through and to say, well, they complained about their cleanup, call it.
Mhm.
We go back through the photos. Is there like a legitimate complaint? How did we respond to it? Did we have good service recovery? And they were still difficult about it. So yeah, you have to kind of evaluate it.
Yeah.
You can't just, there's times when you mess up. None of us are
Mhm.
perfect, right? Um, so
Yeah.
you have to really evaluate that and make sure that you're not just dropping people to
Absolutely.
drop people.
And so we've talked about how this benefits your employees. They feel trusted, they feel respected, they know that you have their back. How does this actually serve the client?
Yeah. So I'm going to take a step back for 2021. COVID was
Uh-huh.
a very difficult year. It was hard to get employees. We had a lot of work to do, or maybe it was 2022. I kind of get those
I
two
know, it
years. It's
was
a big
really a
fog,
blur.
the
And
COVID
then
fog
and
back
then it
then. But
started in 2020,
2020, yeah,
which is 6 years ago at this time. So it's hard to I often don't count that year because
yeah,
it was a 0.
right.
I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, somewhere during the COVID
Yeah,
haze.
so it was hard to get employees that year. We were stretched thin,
Mhm.
and we couldn't get all the work done. The guys that we had were working very long hours. They were stressed. It wasn't a great year. So BSPO also doesn't have to mean like a difficult client. What we had to do is look at our business model, and we dropped, I'm going to say, 100 clients.
Mhm.
Um, because we had clients that, we have levels of clients. We have our birch, which is the highest. We have our
Mhm.
oak, which is a solid customer, and then our pines. We
Uh-huh.
call it a pine that, maybe we can, they don't do a lot of services. They're okay, but maybe they can go. The problem with that year was we couldn't service those birch clients
Mhm.
because we had too many pines.
Mm. Mm.
And so we were spending resources trying to get this person that just does lawn mowing, while Mrs. Smith over here wanted to spend 20 grand with us, but all of our resources were over here
Mhm.
and we couldn't get to her. So we actually removed a bunch of those um, pine clients, the lower spending clients,
Uh-huh.
to service the higher end clients. Um, so that helped out with two things. One, helped out with, call it Mrs. Smith, the Birch client, to get her work done.
Mhm.
But we also recommended all those other clients to somebody else, to a smaller company. We have a lot of employees that ended up starting their own business, and we recommended them to them. Uh, and frankly, I think they probably got better service, you
Mhm.
know, by reducing our clientele. We're able to focus more on those clients, if that makes sense, if
Yeah.
I'm making sense there.
Eh,
Be able to service them better.
right.
The people that we got rid of were probably getting service better from the smaller company, and our higher end clients were getting better service because we were able
Mhm.
to get there. We make sure the beds were weeded, make sure the shrubs were pruned, where we couldn't do that before.
Okay, so that feels better. I mean, when you're telling me that you then refer these people to another company, I was thinking like it's kind of a backhanded referral to get your client that is if they're a PETA, if they're being fired because they're a PETA,
Right.
it kind of seems like a backhanded referral in some ways. But if it's just like, hey, you don't have the capacity to offer them this service anymore, they need something that's changed. That seems like a better referral.
Yeah.
For the person getting it.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Whereas if like, hey, oh, this client's toxic, they swear at us, they're awful, and here we are referring them to so and so.
Even though you might not have, they're a toxic client, we do think it's fair to at least give them a referral. And, we could also warn the people that we are referring them to say, hey, just want to let you know, we referred you guys. She's not a great fit for us. We might not get into exactly what happened, but, to let the referral know that this person might be calling, but just so you know, they weren't a good fit for us.
Yeah. So, and as you're saying this, how long has CMS
Yep.
been in business?
Since 1973.
Okay, so it's now 2026. So if the business has been around 50 years, um, what we were doing 50 years ago, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, maybe even 10 or 5 years ago can change.
Oh, yeah.
And who our hell yes customer is can evolve over time. And at some point, who your customer was 20 years ago may no longer be a good fit for what you do, just because you've changed your model, you've changed different things. And I know a lot of companies, I like having clients for a long time and I have a relationship with them. I know their kids' names. I've met their dogs in some cases. Like I know these people and I want to take care of them. And at some point, if I don't feel like I am able to take care of them, we call it graduation. We graduate them and we do refer them and we let them know. And they're not being fired necessarily.
Right.
Like
Yep.
there's kind of a difference of just, hey, we've reached a point where what you need is no longer what our company does. And, here's a referral that we really trust that's going to take care of you.
Yeah. That's kind of where that BSBO comes in. 'Cause it's really better served by others, right?
I like that.
Yeah.
That fits all those different circumstances a little bit better.
Yeah. So we had some tough decisions to make when we were making those cuts. Longtime customers. We were all allowed several saves because Chris Marks, started the business and had a lot of longtime clients. And back then it was take anything, right? Just take it all in. So we had some tough decisions to make to say, we need to let these people go. And, for the most part, it went really well. I think they understood.
Yeah.
There were some people that were mad and annoyed, but, we talked them through it and ultimately it really worked out.
Good.
It was a big cut in revenue and we were kind of freaking out about it. Like, oh my God, like we're really going to do this. But it actually benefited us. We actually resold that work. So it was 100 clients, making up a number, 100 clients we migrated and, but it only took us 25 or 30 clients to make up that revenue.
Yeah.
Because it was more of an ideal fit.
And this solves the recruiting staffing problem.
Right.
It's one way. It's not going to solve all the problems. Like you're still going to need people, but if you're stressed out, your people serving the a million small clients or old service clients or whatever, simply letting some of them go can solve that staffing problem.
Exactly.
And then focus your marketing and your sales on who is your hell yes customer now. And replace 30% of them,
right,
and have the same number of people and make the same or more profit.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Probably more profit because those higher end clients are willing to spend more, and they're just they can be more profitable client than, like I said, the one guy that just wants his lawn mowed. Like it's there's companies out there for that. And can do a better job and appreciate the business. We got a lot of calls from those companies to saying, hey, thank you for all those referrals. We built relationships doing it with other companies.
Good.
Just in case we ever need help or they ever need help. I think it was a very positive process.
Great.
Not always easy. It wasn't easy to do, but we got through it and it really worked out well.
Abe, do you have any questions for me before we wrap up?
I don't. I really appreciate doing this. This was a lot of fun and informative. And if anybody wants to reach out, they can. It's Abe at chrismarkandsons.com.
Chris, Mark, and Sons?
Yes, it's a very long one. We couldn't get CMS.
Oh, okay, good. I just so Mark, M-A-R-K.
Yep,
and Sons.
Yep. So Abe at Chris, Mark, and Sons. You got to spell out and. Or you can go to our website at chrismarkandsons.com.
Cool. Well, Abe, thanks for coming on the Landscaper's Guide podcast. I'll put your email address and a link to the website in the show notes for folks listening. You can read it, you can click on it. And hey, thanks so much for sharing this. I think I just want to reiterate that BSBO, I like that. Better served by others is a way to preserve your team and increase your profit and serve your customer. So I think that there's a lot of positive things that come out of what can seem like a negative idea of potentially letting clients go.
Yeah.
So thanks for sharing that.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Awesome.
I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Abe. And if you did, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you see our weekly podcasts with inspired conversations to help you grow your snow and landscape company. I'm Jack Jostes, and I'll see you in the next video.